What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Project Elevate. Today I have a special stream here with I have Floki, I have SpacialJones, I have CallMeMeech. Gristle, thank you so much for the sub. I won't be interacting with the chat too much until the very end, maybe, but I appreciate you guys for being in here. Hope you guys enjoy this RoundTable podcast, man. And we're talking all about MyTeam this time. So let's go around the room, and I want one word association when it comes to MyTeam season 1. Just that one word that sticks out.
Accessible. Accessibility.
All right.
That's funny.
Spatial.
Mine is consistent.
Consistent. Okay.
Yeah.
And Meech.
And mine is fun.
Fun.
All
right.
Fun.
I'm gonna go with grind for mine, man. I'm gonna go with, you guys all kept it real positive.
Fair play.
I'm gonna go with grind, bro. I mean, I've had a lot of fun, but geez, what a grind, man, right? Oh man.
And
like what are you referring to in a grind? Like, are you're chasing all the centerpieces? So like that's
everything.
A slog. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much everything, right? Centerpieces, the takeover grinds, the Friday to Friday takeover grinds.
Dude, I don't know how y'all were going after the centerpieces and the takeover grinds. I wouldn't have been able to do that at all. It was so many games. I like, to the point where when I decided to do the clutch time online wins and focus on getting that centerpiece, it was only because didn't even know that I was at like 60 wins, and I guess at some point in the last month, I shifted my focus. But if I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't even have gone for it. But I definitely wasn't going to get a takeover player. I only got one from limited. That was it. I never got one from the ball.
What about the Tuesday ones?
Nah, man.
What? Come on, some of those are pretty easy. What about Wiggins? Are you gonna get Wiggins?
No, nah, man. I took this week off. I just been playing because like I'm at this point now. I'm like really focusing on my stick skills. I have like bad habits I'm still trying to work through, man. Like I'll get into this loop where I'm trying to focus on things that I've learned, like in like tutorials from like Jersey Made or RoundTable. And you know, anytime you have like a new skill, you got to get reps in. So you fall into this loop of constantly pressing the same commands and doing it over and over again. And then I'll get a ton of losses because it's like, well, yeah, dude, you've been trying to do this Jordan Poole standing freaking crossover every 7 possessions now. It's like, stop doing that. And then I'm wondering why I'm losing. But yeah, I wasn't going to have any time for the takeover players. And I'm not saying that they were hard, but this year in particular, this is the most online games I probably played in any MyTeam since like the first one. Because I hit a point in 2019 where I was like, I'm not playing online anymore, and I just stayed away from 5-on-5. I rock with clutch time because clutch time is cool, but I would kind of shift away from that every now and again, you know, if I got frustrated. So I wasn't gonna have any time for takeovers, man, not at all.
Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting to say, dude. I think that the Tuesday takeovers are like pretty reasonable if you're willing to cheese them in the challenges that end fast, so you can get like the games played done. And then I'm sure like you had to have completed like a good number of like the dunks and the threes required. Yeah.
Like I definitely got like tons of like trophies after like focus on different wins. And I think that's what was cool when it comes back to that point of accessibility, right? Where, you know, you're doing multiple goals and you have a passive goal you don't even know you're working on. But
that's
you know,
the
then
best.
it'll be like, hey, get 16 points and 17 boards. No, sorry, brother, not doing it. Not going down, man.
And I know Meech is like, I mean, he's been focusing on that because he's doing like the whole, you know, staying away from the auction house reward player only series. Shout out to that. So
Meech is the guru.
you've gotten all of them, haven't you? Pretty much.
I have takeover. I have 9 out of 11. I didn't get Elgin Baylor. And I didn't get Lamar Odom just because I didn't get him RNG, and then his requirements came in way too late. So those are the only 2 I didn't get. I got everyone else, and I got them all agenda based, no RNG.
No limited.
Crazy. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I did take a shortcut. I got Anthony Edwards from limited.
There you go.
Okay. I was I was gonna take Lamar Odom and then just grind out Anthony Edwards, but I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna just shortcut it, grab Ant. But yeah, so yeah, I guess you could say that was my only shortcut was Anthony Edwards was from limited, but the
I mean,
rest were
is it a shortcut when you have to win like 6 weeks in a row?
yeah, it's really not.
No, it's not.
It's really
It's not
not.
at all. It's not at all. It was like after that
Especially
first week
that.
of limited. Oh, sorry, Meech, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say definitely not a shortcut, especially I think it was week 3 for me at limited. Oh my lord, my ring would not come up, bro.
Yeah.
It took me a minute, but yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like the first 2 weeks, I think both of those weeks, it took me about seven games to get my limited ring. And that's with losses in between them. You know, it took a little bit. After that 1 or 2 games, it was nothing. I would never even touch the mode all weekend after Friday.
Yeah, same. The first weekend, I didn't get the ring until literally like half an hour before it was done. It was like
Wow.
It was like 1:30 something, almost 2 a.m. on that Sunday night, and I was like, bro, like I need this dang ring. And I finally got the ring, and then every other one has been like after like the first 2-3 games max. So that, you know, at least that, but that first one. And I went after Lamar Odom, but I started late. I underestimated the amount of time it would take to get those wins, you know? So I started Lamar Odom I think early on a Tuesday or something like that to really focus in, you know, rather than just kind of like labbing and playing. And I fell short, man. Like it was too tough. And I stayed up super late Thursday night trying to do it, and it was crazy. So that's why the grind, man. Anytime I've really gone after those takeover players, those Friday to Friday ones, it's been I felt the grind, you know.
There's your key word, right? Yeah, those Friday grinds are different. Big respect, Meech, for doing those consistently.
Boy. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you, I've been ready to pull my hair out, and like, I don't consider myself like comp at this game by any means. Like, I'm a fairly decent player, but like, listen, even if you win all of your games, bro, there's so many hours between the modes, and then I'm not gonna lie. I think I ran out of batteries on those. I'm not gonna say I ran out of batteries, but it took a lot. It takes a lot. And if I didn't have kind of like flexibility with like work from home and stuff, I honestly don't think I'll be able to do it. I'm gonna just be completely honest.
I mean, the good thing about
it's
those,
a demanding schedule. I don't know how many like wins it takes. Like if we add it all up, but like 15 unlimited wins is a lot. And then they're forcing these guys who are going and playing online and getting the wins online. Then they're forcing you to play like 35 clutch time, and like it's crazy.
It's 135 wins if you have to complete it all the way out. It's 135 wins.
Wow.
So it's tough, man. It's tough.
So the only good thing about that is it kind of forces you to make progress on each of your centerpieces. That's the only kind of like caveat. You know, a week or two in, I was like, okay, well that's why they did it that way. They could have dropped it down a little bit to help us out, but I guess at the same time they didn't want everybody having every centerpiece and every takeover card. You know, make it a little challenging to start off, because you know how it goes. They kind of have to gauge how hard the grind's going to be, because if they make it too easy, like 2 days later, some guy's on Twitter and he's like, there's nothing to do. 2K sucks,
right.
You know? So it's cool. And it's always been like that. Season 1 grind. I mean, I think the level 40 grind was a little bit easier than past level 40 grinds.
Yeah.
Did you guys agree with that?
Especially at the end.
For sure, yeah. That end chunk of XP was crazy, and I really feel like, man, I wish I didn't lock in like Chris Mullen. Like, why did I have to do that?
I know, same here. I kind of thought
never used them. Never used them.
I did for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, that 3,000 or whatever, like that would have been way easier at that.
Yeah, So that's one good thing to know, is we can reassure our viewers, our audiences, that you can make the grind happen. Like at the end of the season, we should expect a large chunk of XP to help you finish up. So I really liked that. I thought it was huge, despite not getting to personally utilize it. I loved how there was also all those trophies at the same time. So like for players who are ahead, it didn't feel like just a nothing bonus. So
yeah, that was a really cool thing. And that kind of segues into, what I wanted to talk about next was the trophy case system. I mean, obviously that's the whole brand new thing, the focus of the mode. What are you guys' thoughts on the trophy case? Have you guys enjoyed the grind? Is it going to be something that you're going to keep interest in going forward? Is it going to get stale? What do you guys feel about that?
Actually, I like it. The reason I like it is because it kind of helps you to not focus too much on like, previous years we always had like card specifics, in each mode or whatever. And then, everybody were running like, oh, well, should I go for this card or this card first? It kind of just lets you freely play, like whatever you want to do. Like at least you're building towards a centerpiece, and then those trophy case cards. I mean, they're all pink diamonds based at 10 Hall of Fames. Like pack pink diamonds haven't even touched 10. So it's like, they're the best cards in the game right now, besides like the takeover stuff. But I mean, it kind of lets you freely move around and kind of just do what you want to do. So I like it. I kind of talked about it a little bit. I think it'll continue. I think it'll continue a little bit further of having kind of like people's interest. I don't think many people, besides just like who wants to like have that completions goal, is going to care after they get Dr. J and Tim Duncan. And the reason I think that is because you lock in so much. Like, let's say you lock in, Dr. J. Well, he can already play the small forward. If you wanted to play, him at the power forward for whatever reason, you're already locking in Tim. Like, by that time, I think the packs and everything, and even like just the mini grinds are going to start to kind of like catch up with Larry. Even if it doesn't fully catch up, I think it'll be enough to like, I'm not going through all of that to kind of lock it in. But like I said, like I was at the point where I didn't even think I'm going to stay in my like conference for Dr. J. Like I may switch because I locked in Jimmy first. I may try to switch and go get Tim. It just comes. I don't know. A lot of things are starting to kind of run into each other, but I think it'll continue for a little bit longer.
It's interesting, dude. I want to say like in season 1 there was 5 centerpieces. The season 2 we get like, what do they say, 10 plus?
They say over 10.
Yeah, it's 10.
Yeah. So what will season 3 look like? What will season 4 look like? I think that what you're saying is definitely something to be concerned about for the MyTeam crew. Like once we've, like it's going to be really a hard sell. Like once people have locked in like 5 centerpieces to then like want to do like 5 more and then 5 more. It's like that's a lot. That's a lot of grinding, a lot of gaming. So like how does it keep spicy and interesting? I'm sure they'll come easier. I'm sure they'll be maybe tied into some limited time events, like how we had the 2K day, like a token market thing where there was the token packs for trophies. Maybe a centerpiece gets lumped into one of those. Maybe the centerpiece comes in a locker code one day. I'm really hopeful for those type of things. Accessibility.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also kind of weird, like thinking what almost comes next with it. Cause I mean, people got their opals into season 1. They're saying by end of season 2, you're going to be getting the dark matter. I mean, I guess it could go a little bit longer. Cause then if you lock in that dark matter by the end of season 2, let's say season 3, they make it where you can get the second dark matter. But then at that point, what's that, by season 4? If they're just following that skill, by season 4, you should get bird. Then like what happens to the modes? Like, do we go back to card specific, in each mode, or do they do like a trophy case part 2? I don't know. It's going to be kind of a interesting thing to see how they, kind of how fast they let people finish that.
Yeah, the progression has definitely been interesting so far this year. I mean, pink diamonds right off the bat in packs day 1. Opals available like right at the end of season 1. We'll see. It seems like the opals and packs will still be a little ways off, which is, I think, a good thing. Let those trophy case players get some time to shine. I think as soon as you drop, a bunch of opals and packs, that kind of like the allure of that goes down. And I'm kind of with you too, Meech. I got 4 centerpieces done, and I'm not going to do the 5th one. It would be Clutch Time Online, and I've only locked in for 2 of my players so far. So I've just kind of been stashing them away, and I'm kind of thinking I might go with just like different conferences instead of locking in for Anthony Davis.
Oh, you got to get Anthony Davis, dude. If you've already started on the path to him, didn't everyone say he's the
nice.
best?
Yeah,
he's nice.
He is nice. I've heard good things about Clyde Drexler as well. And the thing is, like, there are so many small forward, power forward players in that conference. You know, you have Peja, you have Worthy, Elton Brand is essentially a power forward as well. So I don't know. I'm still kind of up in the air. We'll see how easy the centerpieces are going into season 2. But for now, I think I'm gonna sit on them and kind of see what's going on with that. I know SpacialJones, you kind of went the 2 from different divisions as well, right?
Yeah, because I wanted to get Sabonis, man. You know, before I pulled Joel, I was kind of weak at the center spot. I didn't want to use Tyson Chandler. You know, like some of the usual suspects you saw. And Ben Wallace, while he was formidable for a while, he didn't really have the speed. You know, he just didn't really seem imposing at all as a threat on the floor. So I went and got Sabonis. But I actually think that's going to play to my advantage, being that, you know, my typical strategy is always to go for triple threat offline first. Just because that's a passive thing I can do. I can focus on getting those wins without really thinking. Just put some cards together, lab some moves and stuff, and just keep going and going and going and going. But I think I wanted to kind of circle back to the centerpiece point. I thought the centerpiece grind was really, really cool. You know, to your point, Elevate, in prior years, like, you know, I think y'all remember when we had that, what was it? Diamond Mike Finley that people got in the first month. Was that 2K17 from just doing unlimited? If you got unlimited, you had the best card in the game. I think, and then it was like the AK that same month. You know, you were good to go. So now you kind of have this, almost like a flow chart, so to speak. But I think, you know, that's kind of an area and opportunity for 2K to kind of steer people with more clear direction towards the centerpieces. Like, I know some guys that are kind of like casual MyTeam players, and they missed out on that weekend where we all got the trophies. Like, what was it, like 8 trophies for 1 token apiece? They all missed out. So,
9.
yeah. And they're primarily my career players. So, you know, when they kind of miss out and then their teams, you know, become obsolete, you know, they're probably not going to come back to the mode unless we're doing like triple threat co-op or playing friendlies or like a pack drop that they want to mess with. So I think they, you know, 2K kind of has to do a better job of just kind of being like, hey, this is the framework we have set in place for you to build your team. Because I don't think, you know, if I remember correctly, anything in the blog really kind of talked about the centerpieces too much. I think it was like a mention, but not really how you do it. And then I kept, you know, I know you guys are big creators. How many times did you guys get comments about how do I get a trophy? How do I get a centerpiece? How do I? And it's like, brother,
that was
I don't
so
know,
confusing.
man. I'm just playing every day. Like
the first few days,
playing.
everybody was just like, it's like that meme where they have like all the equations on the, you know.
Seriously.
Like it was like. I
was really glad that you put that graphic out there, Elevate. That was super helpful for me. Just with getting Worthy at the very end. You know, so now my approach, I'm gonna work on I gotta get Steve Nash, and now I'll obviously work on the region some bonuses in. You know, so I kind of have like a good idea of what I'm gonna do. But I think Meech is kind of onto something, man, about just kind of the interest to keep going after centerpieces. I know, you know, the dev team, they're going to do a great job of giving us attractive cards. They've been killing it. Like, if you just kind of date back to 2K19, where we were getting like random cards to grind for, they've been killing that part of the game. And then we you know, they still never went back to triple threat domination. They did that 1 year and scrapped it. Maybe that comes back. I don't know. Since most people don't like triple threat offline. But I think that there's a lot of, they can make some attractive cards that'll give us something to do. I just feel like, with my lack of skill, I don't know if I want to chase after cards in online modes when I don't feel like my game is that good. Like, I'm still in terms of my stick skills, it's really rough. I'm just having a tough time with learning cards. I honestly need more time, which is weird because we've all played hundreds of games from centerpieces, but you know, I'm not deep enough. I think the card I'd probably know the best right now is Steph Curry. You know, Pink Diamond Steph Curry. His card is really easy once you kind of get his step backs, how to trigger some of his like crossovers and stuff. He's the easiest I've had to learn. And then Elton Brand. And then everybody else, it's like, all right, I'm like mixing and matching. I'm trying to use Dominique the same way I might try to use freaking James Worthy, and they're kind of a little different. James Worthy actually has some good dribble moves too, whereas Dominique doesn't. So I'm kind of going through this thing where I got to get a feel to figure out how I want to play. So I don't know. I may not even go after all the centerpieces this season. I may just kind of sit on that. I kind of want to mess with historic domination too. I know most people aren't feeling the filters, but I like playing with the filters on, just to get that feel of when I was a little boy, and my dad was watching the game and I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. So stuff like that I want to engage in, but I don't know if I'm going to chase after centerpieces next season. I think I'm going to slow my own pace down.
It's funny you mentioned the filters. To me, it seems like the filters kind of date you, because like the 80s filter looks like horrendous to me, but the 90s filter just gives me all kinds of good feels,
Yeah.
So it's like for like the young ones are like, even the 90s are just like, bro, like what is this? What is this garbage? But to me, I'm like, oh, I remember that NBA on NBC. So it's funny.
I like getting the screenshots with the old presentation and the
yes.
When you go into the
That's
replay
dope.
too, it's even got like the little bit of filter on it, so it's pretty sweet.
It's cool.
I love it.
And they just they let us turn them off now after this.
Yeah, you
last
can
patch,
turn them off now.
So
that's so
cool.
huge, though. That's so huge. I mean, I never had a problem with it, but for accessibility, that's great. Like literal, not even like how easy things are to access, but literal accessibility, like your accessibility options on your iPhone. Like, yeah. It's helping people with bad vision or not so good vision.
For sure. All right, to wrap up the centerpiece discussion, what do you guys think is garners the most FOMO? Cards in individual like modes, or centerpiece at the end of each mode?
I have to say centerpiece at the end of each mode. Like it's massively like if you don't finish the mode, you could get 245 wins a triple threat offline and then take a nap and then wake up and it's season 2 and you're like, uh-oh. That's a massive fear for me. Like I was really afraid of leaving my like clutch time online like 3/4 done, or offline 3/4 done. I was like, there's no way. Like I'm so bad. Like there'll be day like I log in like every day like as a ritual like to make sure I don't miss it. But there's lots of days where I don't play, and I definitely would be kicking myself if I missed out on a centerpiece, because like the way I see it, I only like have. Like in season 1, I only had 2 that I could get. The other ones just weren't even an option. I wasn't even considering it. So I like the fact that there's going to be more for me in season 2. And the fear of missing out, I do feel big. Like I don't want to miss out. People already have their opal. Patrick Ewing isn't necessarily the best option, but that's what I'm going for. And I want to have him before it's too irrelevant. And yeah, not that I think he's going to be super irrelevant, but it's hard because I already have like, Andrea Bargnani and Kevin McHale, and now that those guys are in those positions, it's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to rush to replace one of them or to just stick them on the bench. I don't know. So, just feel like we're gonna have too many good cards.
I hear you.
Yeah, I feel like low-key, I actually feel like it's the other way. I feel like it's the card being there that'll give you the most FOMO, and the reason because like at this point we all know what the centerpieces are. Like we know it's the foundation of my team. We know what it's, but at the same time, you also know every single card that you can get. And with the preview mode, you know exactly what that card. We've known what Anthony Davis has looked like since day one. We've known what Clyde has looked like since day one. So it's almost at the point where like you may miss a centerpiece, but like you still can get that card. Like if I didn't get Jimmy, let's put it this way: if Galaxy Opal Jimmy was in Unlimited, the season 1 Unlimited reward card, and I didn't get it, I'm like, oh crap, I probably won't get Jimmy ever again. Where if it's centerpiece and I missed it, and I'm like, oh, I'll just get the centerpiece season 2, and then I'll just grab Jimmy then. So I think that's what it is more, is because like the centerpiece lets you know you're going to be able to get that card whenever. You know what the card is. You already know what they look like. But if, like I said, if it was player specific and you know that card from the beginning of season 1, but come season 2, if you don't finish it, he's gone. Then it's like, wow. So it makes you like actually really go through and play that. I can only imagine my team where every single mode had a card that like I actually wanted and not like a centerpiece that I can get them later on, So I don't know, that's how I kind of feel with it.
That's a good take. I like that way to look at it. Now I feel like I'm having FOMO from both reasons.
Yeah, I think for me, man, I kind of agree with Floki now. It's like both reasons in a sense because I got kind of lucky. Like one of my favorite all time players was a reward card on day one, right? Like I don't know, that many people. Like we didn't see like Steph's or anything like that, or like Michael Jordan's yet, where everybody gets their favorite guy, universally. So
Wasn't
I
Steph
feel
like the first pink diamond?
he was, and I pulled him, and I was so happy. But like, and that's the thing, like. So for other people, I would imagine, those
Juice
rewards have to
odds.
look attractive.
Juice odds.
And then, yeah, and then like there's also, the idea of the grind, what was it, 250 wins in triple threat offline, 100 in clutch time online, 100 in clutch time offline, and I think it was like 60 for unlimited, which was actually not that bad since you kept progressing anyway. It wasn't even 60
1,000
wins.
points.
It was more
It was
like
more like
30
30.
some
It was
odd
more like
games.
30. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
30
really
some
cool.
odd games. So you just had to stick it out. So, but I will say in the prior years, Meech is exactly right how he said it. Like I used to always get burnt up once I couldn't get through unlimited. Like I hit a point in like 2016 where it was like, dang, man, I'm not getting 12 and O's done anymore, man. I'm just not getting them done. I think on stream one time I got 11 and 1 and I lost on a game winner. And at that moment I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I did for years. So like now I'm at this point where they're all kind of up there for me, and that feels really good. And to 2K's credit, I think it's really genius where it's like, hey man, we just want you in the mode. That's it. Just play the mode. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. We have all these different things for you to do. You're like a kid in a candy store. But at the same time, I'm a little jealous that I don't have any opals right now, no matter what I pull. And I got a feeling we might get some opals and packs much earlier than we think. That's what I actually think. But yeah, man, like I kind of wish I had my opal just now. So like I'm literally roaring at the bit to start the season tomorrow so I can work on this centerpiece. I think I have 8 trophies for this. So I really want to get that centerpiece and really be able to get my first opal and feel like, okay, cool. Now I'm really like that. Now I'm one of them. So I have a little bit of FOMO because of that.
For me, I think it's been Centerpieces more like have driven me more to complete modes. Whereas other years, if it's like I can pick and choose, hey, okay, that player I really like, so this season I'm gonna focus on this mode or that mode or whatever. And I've been able to kind of like let players go by and not stress it too much. Whereas now I'm like, okay, and even before they announced the 10 centerpieces coming out for season 2, I was like, bro, if it's like 5 per season and I'm missing out, I'm leaving like 1 or 2 on the table, like that's really gonna put me behind going forward, So that's what it felt like for me. And I mean, I think I'm kind of like Meech. We got to play some games, bro. We really got to play some games. But
y'all need to get on a PlayStation 5. That's what y'all need to be on.
Honestly,
right,
I don't know what you guys are still doing on Xbox. That's old timey stuff.
I just got over here, man. There's love over here.
There we go. Hey, there's room for you guys over here.
Must be some pretty weak competition over there, I guess.
Oh man, the device. Oh man.
I lose a lot more on Xbox than I did on PS. I don't know.
Okay. It's that awkward controller.
Oh man. Okay, I did not want to go down that path, but my point was that I'm comfortable kind of like going into whatever mode I need to go into. Not that I'm like super great. I mean, I'm flirting with the 60% win percentage on unlimited. So that's kind of where I've been. But I can mix it up. If I say, hey, this season I gotta really focus on clutch time because that's the player I can get through it, rage through some of those resets, and whatever. But yeah, man, like the centerpiece thing, it just really has pushed me. This is the first time I've ever in my entire life gone through 250 games in the first season of TT offline.
Me too, dude. I feel like last year I did like. Well, I don't know how many I did last year, but I feel like it was like 300 or something. Like this is crazy how much I'm playing this game in season 1. It's crazy. So.
Look. If you count my 2K21 and 22 TT offline wins, I can almost not 2K21. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but like I've never played 250 in this time frame. And like we'll be considering doing it again, like come season 2. Like nope.
It's so easy. It's the easiest grind.
It
Yeah,
is.
but
It
I
is so
can't
easy.
top somebody and be happy. Like I'm trying to go on unlimited.
Yeah, I get that.
So that segues perfectly. So let's go around the table. Favorite game mode so far in 2K23.
I don't know if I have to answer. I just said it.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
All right, so
baby.
unlimited.
5v5.
I hear you, Floki.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Floki.
I mean, is challenges a game mode? I like the challenge against the Hornets.
The fundamental skills.
Yeah, inside scoring, baby. Get that game over quick. Drop step, done. Drop step. I got you.
I will say I played that quite a bit myself, so I would consider it.
I do like 5v5 modes against the CPU. Like I don't really know what a good answer to that is. I guess domination, but I haven't done it yet. Do you know why? Because there's no centerpiece. It feels like I'm just wasting time not getting a centerpiece.
Yeah.
That too. All right, man. This is gonna surprise y'all, because especially with Floki and Meech, because we talk every day. But yo, unlimited might be my favorite mode, man.
Yes,
yo.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Listen, man. I haven't said it in the chat, so this is for 6-Man Sam. Yo, unlimited is kind of where it's at. Like in terms of rewards, it's just great. Like I think once I kind of figured out my pick and roll settings, and I went to ice on my big, and ice for pick and roll settings in general. And then I still have my switch settings set to all and the rest of my stuff configured. Like I kind of made sense of my defensive strategy right there. So I was like, all right, cool. But I can't help but feel like, man, like even if I'm getting blasted, it's like, all right, I could rage quit, but technically I still win. I'll still level up. The prize balls are cool. The MT is cool. The tokens are cool. I'm sitting on a 811 tokens. And I probably had 2,000 tokens this last season. To be honest, like if you count the ones that I got right now, and a lot of it is all because of unlimited, man. Unlimited is probably the most rewarding mode in MyTeam, bar none. The experience can be, it can be frustrating when you're matched up against guys who are like week 1 and already completed unlimited, and it's like, brother, I don't want to even know you. Like I don't want to even know you. You and I don't need to see each other. But like, it's cool. But triple threat offline is definitely second this kind of hurts me, man. I get it, but it hurts me the fact that, RNG rewards are so hard to get. That was like my added benefit for playing triple threat offline, where I loved it. But triple threat offline is not rewarding. You don't get any players when you go on the ladder anymore. Those MT bonuses, it's like, dude.
Well, so 1250 MT from the vault is pretty good. That's pretty good.
That is nice. You get that
compared to clutch time offline. Nice. Compared to clutch time offline, what's the best reward there? You get
100.
It's literally
100
token. Or 250, I think. I saw 250 the max, and that's like
that's online.
That's worthless. So yeah, I got to go with unlimited this year, man. Got to. It's the mode. It's the mode.
Yeah, same here for me.
That's
without
awesome.
a doubt. Unlimited, just. I mean, it's even last year, even if I wasn't, getting the reward every single time, unlimited is the 5v5. That's why I play the game, and unlimited this year, absolutely the most rewarding, the least stressful mode. There's been there's been games where I lose a close game and I'm like, dang, that was a good game, and then I get like 500 tokens afterwards for leveling up or something crazy, So it's like, okay, cool.
That's crazy. I knew that there was a lot of tokens in that mode, because I've played only one unlimited game, and it was during that agenda where it says play 5. So I'm like, okay, I'll torture myself and play 1. And I sat here. My wife was on the computer, and I was sitting like over here next to her, and I'm playing on the other monitor here, and like I'm just like getting pissed off the whole time. Like I'm like, come on, and I'm winning. I was like winning, but I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't deserve to even be close to me. He's like taking contested shots and making all these contested shots. It just felt like, oh, what am I doing wrong? And what I'm doing wrong is only playing one game. Is not getting into it enough. I had a lot of fun, but that stresses me out. I got I don't know. I guess I scored 100 points and got the one game played. So like I got a few of the trophy things, and then there was like a couple hours left. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. But it was fun and kind of cool. Definitely will have to, hearing you guys talking about the tokens, like my goodness, I'm not finished with the token market players yet. Like all these starters that are like 20 or 30 tokens a piece is like, oh man. And I'm here locking in like the playbooks and I'm locking in for 15 tokens, dude. I'm locking in for 15 tokens, like thousands of MT. And I could be over here just pulling my hair out maybe and getting 500 tokens for losing. So
Yeah. Listen, Floki, I mean, the rewards, I don't even know how many actual tokens. It's over 1,000 that you get from like if you because I've completed like the whole thing, like from start to finish. I've completed it all. It's you get 500. I know, right? Like a few games before the 500, there's like a 250, and then there's like a 120. It's probably like 2,000 some tokens you get from there. Plus, you're getting like the prize balls. You're getting like
The vault
25,000
openings.
every times. The vault openings, you're getting MT every time. And then like, not that you're gonna like bank out on it, but you get that, that 10 box and that 20 box. That's like $70 US.
That's
And
so
like, to
that's
be
so
honest,
appealing. That's so
it's
appealing.
crazy,
No money
right?
spent. Like
He
you
said
can
it's
go
not
in
like you're
and
gonna ball out on the box or nothing. Shout out to
Well,
Meech and
I'm saying,
his crazy
well,
20 box video from a few weeks ago. If y'all haven't seen that,
well,
go
look,
watch
look,
it.
look, look.
It's not like you gonna ball out like your boy Meech or nothing. You know what
Hey,
I mean?
look, that 20 box actually was like very lucky. Like I opened a 20 and
Oh,
well,
it's
I didn't
lucky,
open
huh?
the 20. I got the unlimited 20 and I wasn't expecting nothing because like my 10 was like, I think I got nothing from the promo and I got Scotty Barnes at the end. That was my 10 box. But the 20 box, it's funny because I didn't notice it in real time. But like I got like 4 pals and Amy Boogie. I got Gobert. I got Diamond Curry. And then I got like some other stuff. I made like 200K off that 20 box. So, like,
Meech, we
Jeez,
saw the
dude.
video, man. We saw the video, man.
hey,
This brother took us through the whole box again, like without the visual representation, because that's how good it was. Come on, man.
it was.
Meech is like, he's not my mortal enemy, but ever since he looked down at me at Community Day, he's up there. He's up there. You know, he's up there, man. He's up there.
Hey, man.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, I'm a few games away from the 20 box. I just finished the tier before that. From the 10 box, I pulled Dominique Wilkins, so easy little 100K.
That's amazing.
That's not bad at all,
I
man.
think pink diamonds have kept the value, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. I thought those collection Emmys were going to come down, though. Those things are still crazy.
Yeah, like Karl Malone and who's the new one? Trey Young.
Trae Young,
Trae
man.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trae Young.
All right, so let's get
Trae
the flip
Young's keeping me
side.
from Jokic, man.
What is your least favorite mode in the game? We'll try to keep this one
I think we know
quicker
where
on the
this is
table.
going.
Go ahead, Meech.
Triple threat offline. Actually, no. You know what? No. Actually, you know what? No. I'm gonna change. That's me. That's just me being rude. It's not. I don't want to play triple threat offline, but I will literally probably play triple threat offline before I will voluntarily and want to go into clutch time. I cannot stand clutch time online at all.
Is it going to
At
help
all.
you with like the quick plays being like fixed or whatever? Like
Oh,
so
yeah.
that you can run your like some play action. I just feel like the clutch time like clock is so fast that when you're playing against like someone online who like wants you to lose so bad that it's just so easy to just take bad shot after bad shot after bad shot if you're not like slick with reading your opponent. Like if they just press you, and it's like such a frustrating experience for me at least. I've had a hard
hate
time with
that.
clutch time online.
The press right after the like after the tip off, it's like, man, like relax, like in a real way, like, dude, we're all trying to get the reward, man. You don't need to be full court pressing me, bro. First off, full court pressing is like a bad strategy anyway. But like, you don't even know what I'm doing. Like the tip off just happened. You're already going into a full court press. So I'm just gonna lob this pass over you every time and then we'll just play football instead of playing a basketball game. Thank you.
Pretty much, right? Pretty
So
much.
dumb, so stupid.
Yeah, I completely agree. Clutch Time Online, by far the least favorite mode for me. The most stressful. The only mode that really gets a little bit of rage out of me. You know, every other mode I'm pretty mellow, man. And especially like I've had situations where I've gotten like 2 quits in a row, like either right at lineup screen or like 1 possession in, and I don't get the win, and I'm like sitting on like 2 losses, and like that doesn't reset. And I'm just like, bro, you're going to force me to play the sweatiest guy out here to get all of my wins this whole way through and not give me my easy ones along the way. So that just, hopefully that changes a little bit, going forward. But 100% agree. Clutch Time Online for me. That's the only centerpiece.
I gotta randomly, I'm just thinking about this. I gotta just interject and say, what would it be like if Clutch Time Online was just in a half court?
5-on-5 half court, Floki?
Yeah.
You're a madman. That's so. Imagine how chaotic that would be.
Well, I'm just thinking that like my problem is Bargnani can't get up the floor in time. That's my problem. That's a real problem. Yeah, he shows up with like 7 seconds, 6 seconds left on the shot clock. I just find like by the time I'm across half court, it's like I'm already like, what am I going to do? Pick and roll? I hate pick and rolling.
Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. I would just think that like if they did something like that, they'd have to change the whole format. Like maybe have like a score goal or something like that, and then it'd be like losers out, so it just keep going and keep. Or no, it'd have to be winners out just to keep the game quick. But then like imagine just getting your butt kicked by like I don't know the legend and best player in my team, Splash. Like when I played him 5 times last year. But like imagine like getting matched up with Splash. You're trying to just get your wins done, and it's winners out, and you're playing clutch time. So you're just getting flooded by like a legend player. Like that sounds
for 5 minutes straight. No way to accelerate it.
Literally just getting punished, and you can't do anything. That sounds miserable. I think my most hated. I'm not going to say hated because I don't. There's not much I hate about the game. I think the mode I like the least, honestly, would be Clutch Time Offline. Clutch Time Online is infuriating. That's definitely my most rage-inducing. But like, Clutch Time Offline is so easy. I don't even think like, and mind you would think because it's an accelerated shot clock, like there would be more that I need to consider. But I put my 21 delay freelance on. I kind of run up. I make the first pass, or I just do it in and out and run past the CPU, and those are my games. And if I have Steph Curry, I do it in and out. Then I hold R2 for that little like hezzy stop, and then I'll do the step back and then shoot a 3. And those are my games over and over and over. Like that's so boring. And I think again, kind of going back to the triple threat offline point, the rewards are not good. Like you get that spinning wheel. I'd rather
I hate that wheel. I'd rather not see it at all.
I'd rather you just like throw up a graphic that just said you ain't getting nothing. Like, and then you just go on to the next game. Like, I don't want this fake wheel that just kind of shows me, like, hey, you got another colorway. Like, how many colorways do you guys have for playing all these modes? I have so many colorways and not enough freaking boosts to make shoes. I have tons of diamond colorways already. But, like, yeah, man, it's just, I haven't seen many people, at least on my timeline, even after Community Day, with all the people I follow now, I haven't seen many people get vault players or get players off the reward boards, but playing that mode is just really boring. Like domination is boring, but domination you kind of with the filters and stuff like that, it can have a bit of nostalgia, right? And then you're going to get a good reward every 2 every 2 or every 3 wins. The games are just long, but with Clutch Time you never get a good reward ever. What is it? I think the one reward is like 5 tokens in a diamond colorway, and then everything outside of that is 100 MT. That's so boring. I don't even want to play it.
Yeah, it's really bad. I do want to just double down on that. I really don't like that wheel. It's like I'm not like against like wheels. I'm like, oh, it's not a real wheel, but like it doesn't like how can I spin a wheel and like come on, I'm like. What's the point of the thing that like you time? Like, why do I have to time it like max speed to release this wheel? Like, I don't even know.
It's funny.
I feel like I've tried everything.
I've been taking clips of some of my really close spins and like watching them kind of in my editing software. And I haven't ever actually like stopped it right, like in that tiny little, slot that they give you. It's usually when I get really, really close, I'm either like right before it or right after. So
right after
my like hypothesis without, ever actually getting one is that if you actually manage to somehow hit it right, like on that spot, like you'll get the reward.
What? Wait. Are you talking about like timing the like where you tap your X button or
He's
whatever?
giving us a method, Floki. The method.
If you time that perfectly, no way, dude. I wait like 8 times every time. Like I either go right away because I'm mad, or I just wait 8 times and then get 100 MT by clicking
again,
the button.
I'm dying to get just one, so I can like slow it down and like go frame by frame and see if I actually got it right on the spot. But whenever I've been really close, when you get that animation where like it stops and it bounces right out.
Mm-hmm.
It's been when I've like timed it right before like the little thing. So I don't know if it's like a real thing or not. I know it's super hard to do. So
we need a dev to like just explain like what's actually going on there. Tell me, like, is it a computer program that's like rolling in dice, or like is our input actually affecting like the outcome?
And it does change directions too. So it spins one way and then it'll change the other way. So.
See, I wish we had ball drops for that, because like even though ball drops are totally random too, I feel like I at least have like some skill at doing that by now.
Oh no,
I feel like I played Peggle enough.
My daughter is like an expert like TTO ball. Like last year, I promise you, anytime there was like if I had a player on the board and she wasn't home, she was at school or something, I just like turn off my game, save that for later, and let her do it. And she would get it like every single time there was a player. Like she did not like fail me one time all last season. So shout out to Naomi for that.
Dude, I tell you what, man. Y'all say you think you want the ball drops, but I don't know if y'all remember, man. This is gonna go way back. Do you guys remember when they had Blacktop and then it was the Pink Diamond Isaiah Thomas, where you had to play Blacktop, which was like 3-on-3. It was basically triple threat, and you had to win, and you never knew when you were gonna get a good reward. So like. You might win, and it might have been like a Team USA Sapphire, or like it was like a Ruby Bob McAdoo. He was really rare. But then there was this famed Pink Diamond Isaiah Thomas that you could get. And I knew some people that played like a few games and got them, and I knew a few people that played and never saw it. Like I'm talking like one of my guys, I think my guy, my boy Tone, man. My boy Tone played. And I think he said he did over 200 wins, and he never saw Isaiah Thomas the entire year. So he just kept getting ball drops, and he never got the reward on the board. It was just never there for him. It was terrible. Yeah. They ended up changing that later, but yeah, like I don't know, man. I would hate to see him, and then like, or yeah, even like last year where it's like, yo, Dark Matter such and such is on the board, and then you win or you lose, and then you miss the ball drop. I don't know, man. That might make me throw my remote through my house and back like a boomerang.
Yeah, it's tough. That's the one, man. Like you got to win 7 games just to get onto that top tier board, just to have a chance to see it, just to have a chance to like drop it in the right spot. So it takes
just to look at it.
Yeah, it takes a long time to just even like get an opportunity at it. Whereas in clutch time, after every single win, in TTO after every single win, in TT offline after every single win, unlimited after you get a chance. So. That's where I don't know about the ball drops, but they're definitely easier. If you do see them on the board, I mean, I know everybody doesn't have a Naomi in their corner, but it's tough, man. All right, let's keep it moving real quick and
Elevate. I have a quick question. A quick question for y'all.
Yes, sir.
What's worse, the slamming of the vault, or constantly seeing the player on the reward wheel and never, ever, ever getting it, and like ever? What's worse?
It's the will.
I think the will. The first couple of times that it hit it and then it bounced right out, like that. You guys all know that animation. The first couple of times that happened, I was just like, "Oh, 2K, you just really want me to turn this game off right now." The Volt thing was kind of troll, but at this point, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna wait that extra second and see if it actually opens or not. And I know the color of the lights to tell you, but at the end of the day, whatever, it's gonna open or not.
I'm too old
Exactly.
for all that. I'm just ready to be insulted every time. So it's just a nice surprise when it does open.
But yeah, they got their troll hats on for sure with that vault animation and the wheel spin animations.
Vault slam, just it slams on you like it's almost like it's cursing at you.
Yeah, it's like almost no, son.
Mm-hmm. It's like right. What's the point of the vault like spinning and then like almost like cracking itself open just to shut it, right? Like I would much rather it spin and not open at all. Like why would you like be like, hey, I'm opening a little bit and then turn red and then shut on me? What is that? Because technically the way a vault lock works is you unlock it by spinning it and then it opens. Why does it open and shut on you?
Yeah.
We need to take this
2K
footage
is
and
not
bring it to like all the major banks of the world and ask them like, have you ever seen a vault operate this way?
That's
funny,
so
man.
funny.
I don't even care about that animation. I'm spamming A, so it's just get me to the next game.
Get to the next. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, man. Let's segue a little bit. What adjustments would you guys like to see in my team, kind of moving forward?
I'll go first on this one.
Switch everything. Switch everything.
Meech, you've been going. You go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
We're good. All right, cool. My camera's on. I'm driving. So y'all can still hear me though, good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Adjustment. So, I mean, I think we're all gonna kind of hear it. I'm scared for them to really do anything about it, but one thing, the hot topic, I guess, is the paint defense, which it's a weird thing because it's there, but. And I think it's just because, I mean, personally, I know everyone's kind of experienced it, but I play on like just the normal unlimited level. I can get to a casual level I want, but I also play on like comp tourneys and stuff. So like I see it from all different aspects, and like there is something that needs to be addressed with the paint defense. But I'm really scared that if they touch it that little bit, it's just gonna go left, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, Gobert's going to be like shooting from the parking lot, or just something weird is going to break when they try to fix it. So that's kind of the first adjustment for me. I kind of have two more, and then I'll kind of let everybody else go. But the second thing is, you know, I forgot my second thing, so I'm going to go to my third thing. My third thing is a full just like take the player lock offline. Like I get that they, you know, did like a cool down, kind of like a simple fix. I understand they probably did it, and it just, you know, that it's kind of weird. AFK people evolved into another way to like make sure they were staying in games. So like it's like this awkward thing, but just take it offline. It just has no purpose in it. It's not a good experience really. So that's kind of my second thing, and then the third thing, and it's kind of bittersweet, and I kind of don't know how exactly I want them to go. I've heard a suggestion, but the Tuesday grinds, I feel like they've kind of mastered those, and those are going to be is what it is. Even with us getting like a pretty good card in Andrew Wiggins, which took me probably like an hour to get, being honest. Wow. That's cool. The Friday grinds, it's tough because those cards, I mean, you really can say like they're the best at some of what they do. I do think it needs to be tweaked a little bit, and shout out to All That Jazz. Yeah. He kind of gave a recommendation. I'm pretty sure we all saw where like the game should be based on like, you know, the centerpieces. So like however many, you know, games is going to take us to get the centerpieces, that should be the weekly Friday game. So, you know, if it's 100, you know, Clutch Time Online wins, you know, just spread that 100 across the 6 weeks for each mode. And then, you know, that should probably help that a little bit. So kind of my three main adjustments I kind of would hope to see in the game so far.
Good stuff. I agree with all that. Spatial, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I think I have two. One is more like gameplay, and then it's more of an aspect of the game. And I don't know if these are things that they could obviously change, but I really, and I've been saying this for a few years, I think that 2K needs a more complex matchmaking system. I think it's just entirely, you know, too easy, you know, and you always hear like different arguments where it's like, well, there is no matchmaking. Well, there is matchmaking. Well, there is skill-based matchmaking. Well, there isn't skill-based. And I just think that any competitive game, when you look at the fighting game community, they have a system. They have a system in place where, you kind of go against like for like, or, somebody like a few, maybe rankings higher than you. I think the idea that like, and I always bring this example up because it infuriated me, where last year I purposely, for like the first half of the year, I stayed away from online modes. And then whenever I was grinding for an online mode, I bumped into Splash 4 times. I don't want to bump into Splash 4 times. That's not fun. And no knock to him. That dude's nice at what he does. Like, hey man, God bless you. I don't want to know him. I don't want to see him. Like, I don't want to. I have like 3 amethyst cards, and I'm just trying to get some XP done. And it's a Sunday morning where I should be at church, and I'm getting blasted by Splash Edition at a high level. That's insanity, man. Like that would be like playing a new Street Fighter and getting matched up against Sonic Fox. You're not going to be matched up against Sonic Fox. He's so many tiers higher than you. I think 2K really needs a better system, man. My next one is kind of echoing Meech's point about paint defense. I kind of feel like it's there too, but I only I have success with paint defense if I'm holding L2, or no, if I'm holding R2, my hands are up, and then I'm pointing my left stick at where whatever the ball handler is doing. That's the only time I really have success with it. Typically, I would kind of play in a way where I'm just trying to stay in front of my man, because I play on-ball defense, but I'm trying to stay in front of my man. So like I'll have my hands up, but I'm not like pushing into him because I don't want to get a blocking foul. Because I know you guys have probably seen that there are blocking fouls that you can get for having your hands up. They're kind of a rare call, but it happens. So smartly, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just positioning myself because it's defense is about positioning. And then what you'll see is the guy, your opponent, he may just be running straight into you, pushing you back, or running into the paint and turning. And as he turns, they can just slide you right out the way. That's not good. I think that there needs to be more, just like more complex animations down there that really showcase how hard it is to score it in the paint in the NBA. Excuse me. I know that's kind of counter because 2K, there's a lot of dunking, there's a lot of layups, so I completely understand it. I just think that it's not making for a balanced experience. And I think I got to echo Meech's point again about the AFK play, or like player lock play. I just feel like if they were going to have that in the game, if you don't remove it from online play, it should be you go against the same user. So if Floki's playing player lock and I'm playing player lock, we should play against each other. It should never be you're playing, with all of your users or all of your players, and then you're going against a guy doing player lock. That doesn't make any sense. What kind of echoes my point about better matchmaking. But
I think that would open the door to boosting a little bit if people were matching up that way.
But people boost anyway. People figure out ways to boost pretty,
Exactly.
We've all heard the story.
Already.
Hey man, let's get on at 3 a.m. like we're watching BT Uncut. Let's match up with all bronze cards. It's like, brother, I don't want that reward that bad. I'm not matching up with you, man. I'm going to bed. Nah, let's do it. It's like, no, don't whisper at me. I don't want that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the boosters are going to find a way around whatever mechanism is put in place. And most of the community kind of realizes that the anti-boosting stuff ends up hurting us more. These players trying to play legit than not. So that's what it is. It's kind of sad, honestly. I just don't know where the integrity is gone in just your personal. I don't know. To me, it's just something weird to do. But I don't know. I guess I'm just old and weird. So.
I mean, we're playing on consoles, right? People who play on PC are just willing to hack their game or run tools and stuff to try to. It's the PC market is just crazy. Everything is so differently costed, and it's not because they're earning more in the mode. It's not like their vault opens and they get 2,000. It's not like that. It's just because there's just the prevalence of cheaters on certain platforms and stuff, and. I don't know. I'm totally against it. I think it cheapens. I'm an offline player mainly, so it's just so weird to want to cheat like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's you're wasting time. I mean,
you're literally wasting time.
You're wasting time of your life. I don't know.
You don't want to play the game. You're literally saying, I don't really want to do this. So why? Why do you want
I want the
rewards that you
reward.
don't?
I need to have that thing for free, and I don't want
The
to work
reward,
for it.
it's not money. Like, so like, why would you even like, why, like the only thing you're actually doing, you're turning on your system and you're not getting to play your system for however long to get one card that you're not even going to know how to use. So what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? Doesn't make any sense. And truly doesn't. It's mind baffling. It has no benefit. It has no benefit to anybody doing that, you know, and you're not actually good at the game. And I'm not saying you need to be good, but like now you're not even getting your reps in to get better. Like just through like natural progression of your own game and card discovery, move discovery. You're missing out on all of that because you want to get one reward. You want to get one reward. And then there's going to be rewards that are gone. So you're going to do the same thing like later? Like you're just, so you just have months of not playing the game? Maybe you don't like the game. What are you doing?
Man, these exhibitions have really caught on, like the passive earnings. Oh, whoa! What else can I do to passively earn? Can I hire a pet to perhaps play the game for me?
Yeah.
Oh man. So
I leave my controller in my cat's bed, and he just bumps it enough just to get me those wins.
That's wild. I echo Meech and SpacialJones on those things. Totally valid points. I think the issue with the paint defense is I think it's tied more to like the dunking system. I think that that contact dunks are just way too easy to get to the point where like the shot, you know, the dunk meter is useless because you get all kinds of crazy dunks like just pushing X. You know what I mean? You don't have to choose, you know, strong hand dunk. It's just X and you're good to go. So I think that's the root cause of the issue. And I think so many times we kind of focus on the symptom of stuff and kind of like don't dig deep enough to see where it's actually originating from. So that's where I tie all the paint defense to. If you just had like weaker dunk animations going to the rim when the inside standing layup thing, that's another thing. But I think that's tied to, again, strength not mattering. We've talked about this before, Spatial, where strength ratings aren't calculating correctly, where, you know, somebody that's stronger, that weighs more is getting back down like he's a baby into the paint, and then just at that point it's, you know, pump fake. So there's a couple things that could be done.
Chandler drop step Joel Embiid today. That was crazy. Drop stepped him and then Joel Embiid got stunned.
Yeah.
Tyson Chandler. Doesn't make sense.
So those types of things are crazy, and I think some things that we can do, not just buff the paint defense, because I think that when you do get solid contests, like you say, with hands up, and you do force misses. But there's a couple things. For one thing, traveling isn't called when they're kind of like pump faking 10 times and they're sliding across the key. So that's not called, and traveling is called in other situations. So something like that could help that situation. Also, if you're pump faking, the reason why bigs don't pump fake 1,000 times in the real NBA is because they're going to get stripped by some guard, right?
Every time you're taught that. What is that? Basketball 101, bro? Literally, when you're a kid, they tell you as a big man, you never bring the ball down. So if you bring the ball down in 2K, you should be susceptible to steals. But
and last year that wasn't a feature that was in the game with the ball stripper and stuff like that. And you're not seeing that very often. I have seen it a couple of times here and there, but it's way more rare than it should be, particularly when it's a big man without, you know, the ratings to back it up. So those are kind of issues that I think come before the end result. It's not just shot contest, you know, difficulty up, whatever. It's not so much about that, because if you actually make it to the rim open, you know, you should get there, but getting there, it's way too easy to get there. So that's where I think it has to be adjusted.
I have a problem with shooting is very skill intensive, right? And as it should be, like that's the main thing you're doing is scoring, right? In the game, when you have the ball, it's all you're trying to do really is score. So shooting like is how you have to be very precise to make your shots. And there's just no precision required for layups. There's no precision required for dunks. I love the dunk meter. I think that we should have to use the dunk meter. I think we should have to use a layup meter, even if it's like pretty forgiving. Like the layup meter actually is like pretty forgiving, but I would love to see everyone have to start learning that in future 2Ks, where you can't just run in and hope for the best and cross your fingers. You have to run in with knowing I'm going to be timing something. I'm about to perform a skill move here to score, just as I would to shoot, just as I would to dunk the ball. And maybe the dunk meter becomes easier to dunk with even, but I don't know. I just really like the I really like how shooting is, and it feels difficult. And I just feel like you were saying, like how the dunk meter feels pointless because you can just pretty much get a dunk with little effort by just be Zion, be the amethyst Zion. That guy he just gets dunks. That's literally what the card's supposed to do, and that's fun. But I would like to see more skill testing elements to some of the scoring, because I feel like there's a lot required defensively. To you have to flick up on your stick to get your hand to like contest good on the perimeter. It's not as rewarding to like be jumping at things. I don't know, like especially from behind, like you got to play defense from like in front, which I love. I really didn't like the whole like baiting guys to drive the lane so you could just swat them from behind or bump them, and I don't know. But with the more skill testing element, I'd really love to see what it would look like. Even just give us a mode. Like, I mean, do you remember draft last year when layup timing was like turned on by default for everyone, no matter what?
I loved it. I had fun too.
Admittedly, I was pathetic. I couldn't make layups to save my life, but it felt cool. It felt like, wow, okay, we're actually having something where skill. I have to get open. I have to time it good. It's interesting. I really do. That's an adjustment I would like to see, and I know that's something that's not going to be very digestible for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys that as a follow-up question. Like, do you guys think if everything was on, if we had to time everything, if people would play? But I think to your point, Floki, you look at the super casual mode like the city, even though there are super elite players in the city, but yeah, you're right on the money. It's going to turn a lot of people off when they can't make stuff, which is why we all kind of saw some really bad gameplay that first week of the game. Just people running in straight lines, just trying to get to the paint because they don't know how to play. So I completely get that, and I think you're right. But it would be nice to have some more skill. You gotta just have to learn how to do basic functions. Like when you play a shooter, you have to learn how to shoot. There's no auto aim. You have to learn how to throw your grenades into to the spot you need to throw it to. You don't throw it one way and it rubber bands and, oh man, I had this blast radius perk, so I can throw it over here and it blasts a guy over there. Like there's nothing that like fixes your mistake in a lot of competitive games. And I think 2K has this thing where it's like, okay, well, if I press square on my layups, I'm going to get the best layup. And if I press square on dunks, I'm going to get the best dunk. And if I press square, then I'm not going to have to do the lock in, or if I do lock it in, it's going to be, and it's like, why, I understand we're all playing different ways, but then it's like, well, then why are we all competing in the same way? Somebody's clearly at an advantage than the other people. So that doesn't really seem fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, it's hard, man, because I play this game a lot. Like I'm very hardcore into the community, this, with content and just enjoyment, because I love basketball, whatever. So it's tough for me to be like, yeah, everything should be. I think it should be. I agree with you. I think layup timing should go on by default. I think that it's like you said, it is kind of forgiving if you're kind of open, lightly contested, or wide open. It almost doesn't matter. You can make a late whatever. And I'm okay with that if you're wide open. But when you start getting contested layups over 25% or whatever, you should have to have some of that skill involved to make that. Because, like you said, that's what makes scoring inside the NBA, scoring in the NBA on the inside that tough. You have these fucking 7-footers that could jump out of the gym that, they're going to contest a shot. I know. And so there is a skill gap there that needs to be implemented somehow. But again, I can see from 2K's perspective, it's a hard line to kind of walk, where you're going to turn off certain players. You're going to, that whole thing. Although there are modes. I mean, there's the fundamental challenges. You could go crazy in those, and you can
do Jordan challenge. You don't have to play online. I mean, but again, that's not the environment we're in now. Every game you're playing online, they all want us to be in their games playing it for nonstop hours. Like Netflix, has come out and said that. YouTube has come out and said that, right? They all want us to engage in their stuff. So I'm not knocking 2K for being like, hey, we want everybody to be able to play. I think that's fine, but I just think that what are you earning if you're just flailing in the wind because, all right, I'm playing off ball with this guy and I'm trying to bait steals and I'm jumping at steals and then I'm coming down and I'm calling a screen and I'm going over the screen and then I'm going to get the best layup available, Like, what did you actually earn that? Like, did you really? And if I'm playing on ball and I'm trying to get over, but then randomly my AI double teams the ball handler and leaves the pop guy there, and I can't do anything about it, so I'm getting penalized for trying to play the game, and the other user who's not trying to play all facets of the game is getting rewarded. So then at that point, you're just kind of like, all right, well then why am I doing this? Let me just go play another game that's competitive, that everything I do makes sense. Like Fortnite. Fortnite online play should make more sense than basketball. And basketball's a real game. Like, I know all these things, it's easy to talk about in, like, what is it? Like the phrase everybody used to say, 2K just needs to fix it. Like, that's not how it works, right? It's software, it's tech, it's programming, it's code, it's, I think it's
And how the
famously
users
said
are
it.
behaving are a big
And
part
that
of.
too. Yeah. So it's all these things kind of coalesce, but I don't know, man. It's kind of infuriating to lose to somebody who's like a button layup user and an off-ball player, and then they'll be the guys flash pausing. And it's like, brother, you're not even playing a game. You can't even talk to me. Like, you literally, and I'm terrible at this, but you can't talk to me. I know that.
Yeah. I hear you, and I mean, this is a great little segment because it was actually one of my talking points is like how to properly give feedback to 2K, because you hear, especially with the 250K that we didn't really even touch on. You saw Twitter, you saw the timelines going crazy, and there's a right way and a wrong way to give feedback, right? That the devs are actually going to be able to listen to and take valid, useful information from that, and then make a change for the for the better. Do you guys want to talk? You guys are both in the Next Maker program now. You guys want to talk a little bit about that? What's the proper channel? What's the proper way? What's the
I mean, I want to say that the proper way is the survey that's in game. Like you could tweet all day, adding especially make sure to at Ronnie. He definitely is the one behind all of the sliders and everything. He's the guy, but. Definitely the surveys, like the community survey was something like they introduced, I think, like towards the end of last year, maybe. But they've been putting out these surveys, and that's where we want to get feedback sent. It's really, really important for the future of our game, and so that like our opinions get heard. Is that we're putting like constructive, like actionable feedback. Don't just say like the shooting's too hard. Say the shooting's too hard. I would like a larger green window on this difficulty or whatever. Like say specific things that you want. Say specific things that you feel would be beneficial to the player base. And yeah, the surveys are the perfect place to do them. Of course, I think another way is being a content creator. If you're a content creator, show and there's some problems that are happening, capture footage of it. Like everyone's PlayStation can capture it, everyone's Xbox can capture the problem video footage of the problems you're having, and send it to 2K. Send it to 2K support. Like, yeah, the main thing is just having stuff that they can use like actionably. Having a little bit of complaining and a lot of complaining on Twitter does nothing. It'll like they won't even see it. Like I would say like 90% of those guys aren't even on Twitter or looking at Twitter. Do they care? They're going to work and doing their awesome job at building our favorite game. And it's survey. Do the survey. Okay.
Especially
okay. Do you want to follow up on that?
Yeah. I could. I mean, Floki pretty much explained it very well, I would say. But I mean, just to even go into like, even if you are, just on Twitter, I mean, we all have the times where you get mad at something, you go on Twitter and ready, oh my god, this sucks. We all do. When you are giving that feedback, you need something to go off of. Like Floki said, if you just go in there, oh my god, this is stupid. Okay, well, what's stupid about it? Like, but what's the solution? How can I get there? I think that's what a lot of guys are missing, and kind of what I try to teach them, and kind of preach to a little bit is, okay, this is stupid, but why? What would you rather see? Have it make sense, and then don't be unreasonable. I want every shot to go in. Well, guess what? Me, Steph Curry shoots really good. All his shots are going to go in. Like, give exactly what you're trying to look for. So that way, you'll kind of build to it. So even if it's not in the surveys, and I learned this just before I got into Next Maker, is like they even the devs on Twitter are paying a lot of attention. Like, you may think they're not because, like, oh, they're just don't care. They're not working the game. Like, you'd be surprised. At how, like, I had people from 2K following me. I didn't even know they followed me until, like, I got in there and like, look through my Twitter. I'm like, oh my God, this dude's been liking tweets and stuff from like months ago. Like, you never know who's actually watching. So even in those times where you can be constructive. Okay, this is an issue. This is why I think it's an issue. This is what I think can help fix the issue. And then even at that point, if it's not, your direct want that you want going into it, you at least garner some attention. People at least look at you and say, okay, this guy at least formulates an actual opinion. He's not just out here saying whatever. So the next time you bring up something, maybe they look at you and they take it a little bit more serious. And, they value that opinion when, I mean, this game is horrible. Cool. But, okay, this is why I think shooting needs a fix. They take that into like, okay, this person's really invested, in the betterment of the game, not just to sit there and call it trash and, get your interactions and, oh, yes, agree with me. No, it's not. I want this to be better because I like this game. I want the game to be better and succeed. And you don't get there by, just crap. It's horrible, But just being really cognizant of what you're saying, and the people that could be seeing you, and just providing, like Floki said, that actionable feedback. How can we fix this? This is what I think it needs to be fixed. And just kind of giving that valid opinion. It goes a lot further. And like I said, it appears in that survey because that's where a lot of things kind of just get directly fed back, those surveys, because it's character limited. It takes out a lot of the additional fluff you can put into it. So you have to be really concise and to your point. So I think that's probably why the surveys work a little bit better than just, you getting a whole 250 characters of infinite tweets that you can put out.
Yeah, totally, and definitely building up like essentially like a resume of being a good helper or an intelligent like thinker in the community is valuable and valid. Like if you're out there and you have a ton of good ideas, and like publish some of them and tag us in it. Like we want to hear about it. This is great things for people like us to quote tweet and start conversations and put those ideas in front of the people that need to see them. Like, yeah, there's tons of people from 2K and creators, tons of people who follow me don't necessarily care about every single thing that I have to say. But if you've got a great idea and I'm able to quote tweet it or retweet it and help you, help a dev see it, that's amazing. And that makes me feel great. And that ultimately is just going to keep empowering our mode with people that are dedicated to making it better. And that's what I am. So.
Yeah. Perfect, guys. Anything to add, Jones?
Yeah, man. I completely agree with Floki. I think Floki really hit the nail on the head with the surveys. But Meech's points about, just your decorum and conciseness with feedback is really important, man. I always like talking to Elevate because Elevate has a specific type of demeanor. And I think that, when you're talking to a dev like Sam, or when you're talking, if you have an audience with a creator, like if you get cool with Floki on Twitter and he's open to hearing your ideas, take it serious, and be as concise as you possibly can. At this point, we're all just giving ideas and providing feedback when we have the opportunity to. But I tell you what, man, I was going back to my messages. I've been following the Czar probably since like '08. And my first direct message with him was in 2016. And I didn't really get a even better relationship with him until, 2 years later, and that's just from me being able to offer feedback when I had the opportunity, being a part of his community when he would stream, and just kind of being, a productive member of a community, which is so important, man. Like, I feel like everybody likes to just kind of say things in the wind. I think somebody even in our chat just said, how about they fix lag spikes? And it's like, yeah, I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling with that 1,000%. But I wouldn't say that to Sam if I had an audience with Sam. I wouldn't say that to Czar. What I would say is, hey, man, I'm experiencing a lot of lag spikes. Do you have any insight on why? Or is there some sort of like feedback that I can offer about why this impacts my experience. And
It's
stuff
going to
like
get heard
that.
10 times louder when you say it like
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah, man. And but it's really important to not take these opportunities to speak to these people for granted. I'm not saying treat them like gods. Be who you are, whoever you are. But you have to approach your relationships in a real tangible way. You know, a lot of people approach these online relationships as like, hey man, my PFP is me being a potato, so I'm just gonna act like a potato whenever I talk to people. And it's like, nah, bro. Like, I got to know Floki from, you know, just being connected to Six Man Sam 2 years ago. And then I was in direct messages with Floki, direct messages with Meech, and now I'm a next maker. You know, things can, you know, you just never know who you're going to interact with. But if you take your interactions seriously and genuinely, you can provide that feedback, and you can get actionable feedback, you know, fixed. And then, you know, developers might give you feedback. I've had, way before I was a next maker, I've had multiple developers tell me, thank you for that. Thank you for providing me with that. That helped me do X. You know what I mean? And I'm just a dude. I still got a job. I'm still working just like me. But I approach all my interactions like I would approach an interaction in real life. And in real life, you know, I have home training. You know, I take how I speak very seriously. I take my presence very seriously when I'm around people. And it's not a game when I'm talking to folks on Twitter. And then if I don't talk to you on Twitter, it's probably because I'm not rolling with what you're putting out there. I might even block you because I just don't like the energy you're putting out there. I don't like the things that you're saying, you know. And it's not a game to me to communicate. This stuff is a privilege. We don't, you know, you don't have to have access, you know. Like, and there's many stories with some of these developers in their personal lives, you know, and things that they're doing and how you're talking to them. You don't know what they're going through. Like somebody like LD, didn't LD just have a whole transplant? Like you look at him in videos now, he's so much healthier. Imagine like getting on Twitter when you're in a hospital bed and he's a guy connected to 2K, seeing somebody tell him the game is ass and he needs to do this. It's like, dude, these are still people, man. You can't act like that. You gotta really approach these things in a real way and really take advantage of your opportunity to speak to somebody because it matters and you can make a difference if that's what you're going for. If you just want to yell in the wind and cuss people out, hey man, cook, do your thing. But like if you want to make a difference, you know, take it serious for real.
Yeah, man, tact is such a just a huge part of life, man. Like you could say the exact same thing. You know, I've been in management positions before, and I could tell my guys, hey, get your lazy butt up and do this, and this. Or I could be like, yo, dude, you help me out with this. Let's knock this out. Da, 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 da. And it's like you're saying the same thing, man. And the reception, the feedback, the relationships you're building, it's just so much better for everybody. It's just it's such an easier. It's like the path of least resistance is not to be toxic, man. Like just do that, you know. And you know, I wanted to touch on this subject because this whole roundtable thing, actually, the idea came a couple of years, you know, almost at the beginning of last year, maybe, from kind of trying to gather feedback from everybody's respective communities and kind of like picking out the best ideas and like refining them in the process of our own streams and whatever, and then bringing them somewhere where people can see them and it can make it a difference, you know. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this and giving your input on that. So we're gonna kind of wrap it up. Is there anything? Let them know where they can find you guys. On the YouTube video, the VOD will be on the YouTube channel. So go sub up over there, and I'll put their links and stuff over there. But thank you guys. Any last closing thoughts?
Thanks for having me, dude. Like it was a lot of fun. I actually, you know, love talking my team. Who would have thought? But seriously, it's so much fun to talk with guys that are as invested as I am. So, Meech, Spatial, Elevate, thank you, bro. I appreciate you guys very much for the chat today, and it's I'd love to do this again. So, I don't have anything to plug. My Twitter.
Oh, I'll go. Yeah, man. I said this last time. Elevate, man. I really appreciate what you're doing. Yeah, I really think it's important, you know, that you know we continue to you know commune and just build and keep this thing going. You know, I know there's a lot of 2K podcasts going on. I think everybody needs to continue to do them. You know, it's important that we all amplify each other and build each other. You know, support each other. I just appreciate this opportunity. Floki, Meech, man, y'all already know what I'm on. Y'all already know what time it is. Appreciate being able to rap with y'all. This is really, really cool. And man, support Floki. Please follow Floki. Follow him on Twitch. Follow Meech on YouTube. Follow Meech on Twitter. Follow Meech. Follow Elevate on Twitch. Follow him on Twitter. We got to get Elevate in the Next Makers. If you want to take a look at my stuff, please follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. Follow my guy Jersey Made 93. Follow Lazar, Jason T Battle on Twitter. Follow our guy Ron Beto, please. You know, he just got the 10K, man. We want to keep amplifying him, and you know, again, support all creators, man. You know, just get into the mix, get into their communities, interact, you know, and just have a good time, man. This time we have is precious, and you know, it shouldn't be taken for granted. So, you know, have fun out here. You know, you don't got to be mad at everything.
Yeah, man. No, first of all, just Elevate. Appreciate you having me on, man. Always a good time. All of our conversations smooth, and I appreciate that. You know, we all deal with crazy lives outside of this, so you know, just this, you know, this other part of it, you know, keep it straight and kind of everybody just vibe. So appreciate you for having me today with the guys and stuff. I mean, I got my cam off so you can see my little profile image there. Hey, man, you probably see that thing on Twitter everywhere. I'm always tweeting, always just being me. But yeah, CallMeMeech _ I believe that's still the Twitter handle because I tried to change it. But yeah, that's me on Twitter, YouTube, also over on Twitch. But YouTube is mainly where we're at right now. But that's where you all can find me. Yeah, man. Like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to be on. But follow the rest of these guys, all good people. And yeah, man, like I said, if I have to just leave with one thing, let's just all kind of calm down a little bit, man. Like I always said, at the end of the day, we're playing a video game, and I know that some people are playing this game for like life-changing money. And it can happen, man. But hey, man, like you said, let's just, you know, see if we can do things in the right way. And hey, look, that way we may get more done if we do it the right way, you know. So everybody will eat and benefit in the end of that. So yeah, man, just appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. And everybody here, I mean, I've interacted with you in some form or another for quite a while. So I know that you guys, the vibe that you guys put out, it's all positive. It's all with the intentions of making the game better because you enjoy basketball, because you enjoy 2K, kind of where that meets. So thank you guys so much, man. That's going to wrap it up for today. Shout out to everybody in the chat that came through. Everybody watching on the VOD later on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Have a great evening, guys. We'll catch you guys soon.
Good luck on season 2, y'all.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow. Woo! Let's go.